Hey everybody, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo, your host here at Espera Que. Welcome back everybody to Espera Que. Sorry about the little hiatus. Little background stuff made it hard for us to do recording, and scheduling was a little mixed up, but we're back, we're here, and I would say it would be a happy return, but I'm not gonna lie. It's been pretty bad. And to start it off, let's start off with the pretty disappointing and sad story of the day, which it happened today, August 27th. 20 people, I would say 2 dead, 17 injured in the hospital because of a mass shooting in Minneapolis at the Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis, which I'm just going to say, fuck. It's just fuck. Wow. So, yeah, I could say, being someone who lives in the United States and living here, mass shootings, it has happened so many times. At this genuine point, it is numbing. It is very numbing. But I just got to say I remember Sandy Hook. I remember Pulse. I remember Las Vegas. I remember, a lot. And I'm not going to lie, that is literally the tip of the iceberg of these mass shootings. And now, today, 2 innocent kids, which most of the people who were injured and killed were between the ages of 8 to 14. The gunman attacked a K-8 Catholic school at the students during the all-school mass they were having in their first week of school. The gunmen went in, used, I would believe, the shotguns and handguns, just started just shooting a bunch of people through the windows. And when cops came in, he just took the coward's way and put himself out, which, fuck him, and spit on his godforsaken grave. But I've just got to say, it's just, I'm not religious. I don't like Catholicism. It's shit. It has caused suffering for decades, centuries, millennia. It is a horrible religion, in my eyes. That's my opinion. Still, people believe in it, and it's their right to believe in it. And I'm not going to waste my time being a hateful bigot and mistreat them just because they believe in it. I don't like it, and if they mistreat me, I will be mean back to them. But they're not. They're innocent people doing their thing. They're children. They're children learning their family culture and beliefs. And they were murdered or traumatized or badly disfigured or disarmed. It's just, these are innocent people just living their life, just having a regular day. And today, a man just went in with a gun, with multiple guns to be more exact, and just started shooting up the whole entire place. And it's just disgusting. And as of now, what we know about it is that the gunman's dead. It was what the FBI know about the gunman and their motives is that it was a deliberate act targeting innocent children and worshipers during the school's first week. He knew what was going to happen. It was going to happen, and it seems like it might be an anti-Catholic attack. This was a hate crime, which, I mean, I would say it's a hate crime. It was a hate crime when Dylan Roof went in. Well, I'm not going to say his worthless name. It was a hate crime when the mass shooting in Charleston Church, at the black church, where the white supremacists came in and mass murdered all those black people. That was a hate crime. It was a hate crime when they shot up the synagogues, multiple. It was a hate crime when they shot up the gay nightclub. So it's another hate crime, and I'm just done, because I'm not going to lie. We don't need thoughts and prayers. Governor Walz, he has called out. He was getting a situation, and he's there for them. Donald Trump, the president, the White House, they're there, and they're doing their prayers. But I'm like, prayers ain't going to do jack shit when those kids were literally praying when they were shot. What the fuck is prayer going to do when we literally have physical evidence in front of us of prayer not stopping the bullets killing the children? We have to do something. We have to do gun control. We have to take away the mass guns. There is more guns than humans here. There are more guns than humans here. And I know there is a mental health crisis. We should deal with that. But this administration is taking it away. And I'm not going to lie, if we're having a mental health crisis, it will be 10 times easier to deal with it when those people going through those mental health crises don't have easy access to guns. Because I do not give a shit whatever excuse you have for owning an assault rifle or anything, or like a weapon that just shoots multiple bullets at the same time. Because that's the issue here. When the founding fathers created the Second Amendment, they didn't expect guns to throw 100 bullets per second. They expected a bullet per 5 minutes. And it's just mass murder. So I'm not going to lie. These kids should be alive, but they're not. And it's because of our country's continue failing in this whole entire epidemic, which there is multiple causes of this epidemic: bigotry, hatred, ignorance, people's genuine love to guns than their fellow human beings, lies, the NRA, capitalism putting money in pockets. Every mass shooting, more people go out to buy more guns. Like, the gun lobby do not want gun control, because the more mass shootings happens, the more people feel scared, and the more likely they're going to go and buy a gun. Which, not going to lie, it has been proven multiple times, a good guy with a gun doesn't stop a mass shooting. Uvalde showed that when a bunch of cops were standing there being cowards while this man continued to kill children in front of them. It has been shown in shootings in malls where a good guy with a gun pulls out his gun and shoot an innocent bystander and kill them. Or whenever someone pull out their gun and they're seen as a shooter as well, and they get shot too. So trust me, more guns ain't the answer here. It is literally common sense gun control, which literally everywhere else in the world has. Literally everybody else. We are the only ones having this issue. We are the only ones who are having this issue. Everyone else who has their shit together don't. And the reason was because they had gun control laws. Australia is the best example. They had a mass shooting back in the 90s and 80s. And after that, they put laws, they bought back guns, they got rid of most of them, and what's this? Oh no, they don't have any more mass shootings. Gun deaths are drastically lower. Gun murders drastically lower. It is thing. And I'm not saying it is the answer to all, and I'm not saying the world will be perfect afterwards, but I'm saying is there will be less and less hundreds and thousands of innocent people dying. Especially kids, which, fun fact, at the highest cause of death of adolescents in the United States is fucking guns. So, yeah, innocent people died. Innocent people are maimed, traumatized, and suffering right now. And I swear to God that we need to do something. Because, not gonna lie, people will forget about this in a week. People will forget about this in 2 weeks. People will just explain away and say thoughts and prayers and pretend nothing is happening in a week. And we are just going to have to wait for the next mass shooting in a church. Because I'm not going to lie, this is like, what, my 5th mass shooting in a church that I have witnessed in my lifetime? 5 mass shootings in a fucking church or a synagogue or a mosque or anywhere or places of worship where people expect to be safe with their God. Like, so yeah, I'm pissed. And those who think I am politicizing the dead bodies of children, motherfucker, what else am I supposed to fucking do? Because I would love to go over there and help the family. I would love to do anything. But the main fucking thing is, we just need to stop this. This should have never happened. These people should not be suffering. And the way to fix this issue is, not gonna lie, taking away the guns. Like, we don't need mass casualty weapons. Like, that's for war. War sucks, but that's better for war than civilian use. I do not need an AK or an AR or an M1 or any fucking semi-automatic to automatic weapon. I do not need attachments that upgrade my current gun to shoot like 100 bullets in a second. No one needs that. No one needs that. Like, well, I mean, it's dumb. It's very dumb because you can have a hunting rifle, you can have a shotgun, you can have a handgun, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly good for civilian use. That's for protection, and that's for hunting. And I understand that. I'm American too. I want my Second Amendment right. But I'm not going to lie. I don't need to have the ability to clear out a whole entire room in seconds. I don't need that. Yes, we are under fascism, and we will get to that point. I will talk about that. But I'm not going to pay the lives of innocent people just to have the chance, the easy access of a mass casualty weapon that literally anyone else can get and just mass murder anyone. And it's ridiculous. So we have to do something. And the best way to do it is to tell our Congress people to do their fucking jobs. But it's just that this is the time we live in, and we got to keep on watching this. I'm not going to lie. It's disheartening. Very disheartening. And after the attack of the other Catholic school shooting 2 years ago, wow, which, Jesus fucking Christ, there is a very vocal minority of bigoted transphobic assholes who are just saying that the gunman was trans, and I don't know about the gender identity of the gunman. Do not give a shit about that. Like, gender identity has literally nothing to do with mass shooting people. Literally has nothing to do with it. So I'm not going to lie. What we have to do as a society is to say this is enough, and we need to start doing something by enacting laws, doing punishments. And I'm not going to lie. There is literally no one right now who have the right to be bitching and complaining about guns going away. Because I'm not going to lie, for those who are so confident about the Second Amendment are not using that goddamn fucking Second Amendment for the fascism happening right now. But they are perfectly fine keeping it and saying this and saying, no, we don't need to give away our freedoms of guns, while literally last week they were giving up their freedoms for fucking Trump. So, yeah. So I'm going to end this story and chill out, but I can't even say thoughts and prayer. I just say I feel for the families who just lost loved ones at this attack. I feel for the families who have suffered of this attack. I pray that they get the help and support and medical and the money, because this is going to be costly. I wish we live in a free universal healthcare for them to at least have not waste thousands of dollars for the injuries they did not expect to get. And I hope they heal and do better. And I hope that the rest of us speak up, call our Congress people, go out to the streets and just say, we need something to happen. Fuck the NRA. Fuck all the conservatives saying that their freedoms are being taken away. We need something to happen, because I'm not going to lie. I care more about the flesh and blood next to me than the fucking piece of metal that some of y'all think is a fucking toy. It's ridiculous. So we're going to go into our first break and come back talking about the more shit shows. But as of August 27th, another mass shooting, and I'm not going to lie, this has to stop. See you after the break.
Hey everyone, this is Christian and Jenny from the Coffee and Pandusi Show. We hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince. It's a great show. Also, I want to remind you to join our show as well, Coffee and Pandusi, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock on your favorite podcast platform, and Jenny's show, Two Queers in a Truck.
Absolutely.
Every Wednesday at 11:30.
2025 is our 2025. If I can get it out right without something like that. We've got two wonderful shows that have joined the family of shows that we've done for 6 to 8 seasons. Yeah. And Yarince is a wonderful host. He's a wonderful guest host with coffee. And a wonderful young man with a lot of great vision and insight looking forward to seeing his episodes flourish. And as always, thanks for listening. Otherwise, Christian and I would be just talking to ourselves.
That's right, and we do.
We do. Doesn't keep us from doing that now.
That's right. Enjoy the show, y'all. Bye.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to Espera Que. Thank you for being here for me. I'm your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo. I hope you are listening to us here in any of our major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and hey, let's survive this 2025.
Bye, y'all.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody. After that downer, let's go over something. And our favorite small dick orange pedophile in chief, Donald Trump, has taken over DC for the past couple of weeks after everybody not forgetting the whole Epstein thing, which he is on the list. He was best friends with this man for years. He has more pictures with Epstein than his own children. He has obviously shown that he loves perving on little kids when he bragged about going into teenage girls' changing rooms, when he keeps on perving on his own teenage daughter when she was younger, when he tried to talk about the victims of Epstein as like cute girls that he stole from me, like commodities, like objects to him. Like, he is on the list. He is just trying to push away. Well, the little man, he is showing his hand and showing that he is weak, and how he's showing his weakness is by pretty much taking the National Guard and putting them into DC for this whole high crime rates in DC, which the actual facts from the actual people studying and understanding this show that DC is low crime. It is lowest it has been in 30 years, which that makes sense because everywhere in the United States, crime is drastically lower. Ever since after the 70s and 80s, not gonna lie, crime has plummeted. Truthfully, some people believe it is because of lead pipes being replaced and put in better pipes, which there has been evidence and stuff like that, but we do not know the true cause of it. But crime is down. Even if you hear on the 24/7 news that people are dying and all that stuff, trust me, that is just they're just blasting it out 24/7. If you hear it over and over again, it feels like it's happening all the time. But trust me, crime is down. That doesn't mean you go around and act like an idiot. That doesn't mean you go around and go to the most dangerous parts of your neighborhood. But in most areas in the United States, you are 1,000 times safer than a lot of people outside of the United States. Well, Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck, and he has shown multiple times that he will gladly lie his ass off to just hide his fuck ups. And I'm not gonna lie, he decided to get the National Guard into DC and be wasting millions of taxpayer dollars every single day. They are sitting around throughout all of DC, through all the monuments, Lincoln monuments, the White House, everything, just being guards. And they don't even have that much power. They're there just to stand, look tough, and scary. It is just a show of force. Well, it used to be a show of force, but later on it became that they are now starting to carry weapons, which I'm not going to lie, when you add a gun or thousands of guns, because there are thousands of National Guards troops in there, and these guys are not trained to work with civilian populace. They are trained to be outside of the country and dealing with more horrible conditions, not this population. And they are supporting cops or ICE agents where they are escalating and making things violent. Things will be fucked up. And it's just a disgrace to all of our service people because their job is to protect the U.S. citizens. Their job is to protect our freedoms and rights. Donald Trump is just smearing that oath they took and is just forcing them to be patrolling and pointing guns at the people they swore to protect. It is ridiculous. And all the grifters who are over here saying that DC is the safest or just spreading lies, like Benny Johnson over here saying that he was threatened, that someone did a drive-by, that someone died in front of his doorbell, which, okay, if you're saying all this crime happened in your neighborhood and you still live there, because he was talking about this has been happening for the years he lived in DC.
Yeah.
If you live for years in DC and people were murdered in front of your fucking house. One, you're Benny fucking Johnson. There's like millions of grifting dumbasses out there. The second you have footage of it, which he said he has footage on his ring camera, he would have fucking posted it when it happened and talk about how liberals are horrible. And two, does not have the balls to stay and live in there, and he has enough money to move out. Like most people would move out. I would move out if I just see a drive-by right out in my fucking street. These people are talking out of their necks, just lying and saying that crime is down and all that shit. Which, I mean, yeah, crime is down, but at what cost? A bunch of fucking troops staring at you with guns at every single moment? Oh, that's like saying, oh, Germany was perfectly crime-free under Hitler. What? You want to give up all your rights, all your freedoms, all the right to be a human, just so a occupying force just point guns at you and tell you to behave? That's the American way? And it's ridiculous because all of this charade, all this millions of dollars wasted, all the talking and pretending that crime is the issue here is just to distract from the main issue, which is the Epstein files, which I'm not gonna lie, the more and more this administration do not waste time not showing these files that literally they have campaigned for fucking years for, the more and more obvious it is that Donald Trump's name is in those files. Because, oh my gosh, I do not care if you're going to go blame Biden or Obama or whatever liberal pops in your head that you want to pretend. That man's on it. And the only way he can vindicate the fact that he's not on it and it is a hoax to him is to literally release the evidence. He has the evidence in his possession. He has the power to tell them to release the evidence. And he doesn't because he knows he's fucked. And he is doing everything in his power to make us think to look somewhere else, to stop talking about it. Well, here's the thing. Let's make his day in life miserable. Keep talking about it. Every time a conservative tries to talk about some bullshit culture war thing, remind them about Epstein. Every time Trump goes on TV and be a piece of shit and say racist dogma to defend his horrible crackdown on with ICE and stuff like that, call him out on Epstein. Remind this motherfucker. Do not forget about it. I know it is something that happens here. We forget about things after a week or two. Hell, the fucking mass shooting that happened today, I wouldn't be surprised if people forgot about it in like a week or two. I already bitched about that. But we need to remember this shit. We need to remember the lives lost from this mass shooting. We should remember it and give justice to the women who have suffered because of Epstein and all the people who bought from him. We need these files released and justice to come. Like, it is so obvious they are hiding and protecting these pedophiles. Trump himself, when people keep on talking and asking him, when is he going to release them? He's like, I can't release these. It's going to hurt some people. And it's a hoax. He is so fucking floundering. So, yes, right now, we are past the line, the imaginary line of fascism. The courts, he has denied all courts. He is mass deporting people. He's building concentration camps. He is taking away rights. Right now, he is trying to make it illegal for flag burning, which how the executive order is that if anyone is caught lighting a flag in public spaces and stuff like that, it is a 1-year punishment and stuff like that. Now, they say it is because, you can't start a fire in the public spaces, which, I mean, buddy, have you seen Philadelphia after an Eagles game? Have you seen Philadelphia after an Eagles game? How many motherfuckers get arrested burning down Philadelphia? None. They are going to abuse this executive order, which doesn't even have any power because the Supreme Court in the 70s said, no, 70s or 80s during Reagan's time, said that burning the American flag is free speech, which it is. It is me burning the flag or retiring the flag, because people burn the flag because they are retiring the flag. That's how it in the flag code. Or people are just burning the flag. Thank you, everybody, for watching our show. Listening if you're on our major podcast platforms on Spotify and Apple. I'm your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo. Thank you so much for enjoying hearing my annoying voice, and hope you'll have a wonderful 2025. It's going to be a long one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. I hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince, and I apologize for stumbling over the name. It's the first time that I've talked about the show, and I'm excited to talk about it, as we are offering, and you will see on our media pages, we're adding a lot of new shows that have nothing to do with me, but I'm here to talk about it because I'm kind of the company's spokesperson, I guess, or mascot, depending on the day. But anyway, it's a new, exciting, hip new show. I don't know if the kids use the word hip, but I do because I'm old. And anyway, it's getting the Latin Hispanic perspective, but from somebody much younger, from a Gen Z participant that is a young activist in our community. And Yarince's been on many of our shows in the Two Queers and Coffee family. And we look forward to hearing his opinions and thoughts. And I find this show probably one of the most interesting new shows. So check it out. It's available on our family of networks. And just like Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, as normal, all the same bat channels and all the same bat time. Come find us on Wednesday. There's something to watch every week. Anyway, thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you next week.
We have, so burning the flag, it is a symbolic expression to show like you're showing respect, retiring the flag, or what they're bitching about, people showing that they are discontent with their government. It is something to show people, hey, we're sick and tired of America. And I'm not going to lie. Yeah, our government is a fascist government right now. It does not give a shit about the rules or laws we have. They're putting all the power on the executive branch, and they're giving this man everything and all he wants whenever he throws a tantrum. So people are going to use their freedom of speech to speak out, and burning the flag is one of the most American ways to say something. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a burp in there. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie. To take away from all this shit show, one, remember the Epstein files. Do not forget about them. Because if you do forget about them, you're just letting away horrible people with not give the justice to these innocent people who suffer because of all these monsters using their wealth to literally buy children bodies to do whatever they want. They need to be released to show the world. But we are in a fascist state. We have crossed the line. We've been crossed the line. He has ignored courts. He has ignored the laws. He has ignored the Constitution. We are in a fascist state. And he is going to do everything in his power to protect himself from the consequences of his disgusting and horrible actions. Hell, he is threatening Baltimore and Chicago with National Guard troops, which, here's the thing. Yes, if you listen to Fox News or whatever conservative media 24/7, you would assume those cities are horrible cesspools of murder and death and all that stuff. But here's the thing. They're being led by good people. And those people, instead of wasting their time giving handouts to the cops, are actually putting money into the communities and fixing the problem in the communities. There's still a lot of work to go, but there is change. Crime is actually going down because of their actions, because of their funding. Now, they got hurt because, again, Trump used a fucking billionaire to gut our government, and a lot of the funding for these programs was taken away because of it, because they were DEI, because they had the audacity to help black neighborhoods or something like that. But they are still putting money in those investments, and changes are happening. And he is now threatening these cities and saying they are crime filled, trying to play with those ignorance and fear that a lot of his base has, so he can have the people's appeal for this, which is ridiculous. There are polls, and Trump even brag about this yesterday on August 26th on live TV about how people want him to be a dictator. There is too many people in this country acting like a dictator is a good idea. A dictator, no matter who the dictator is, no matter who, even if they're on your side, is not a good person. It is someone who's taking away all your rights and freedoms and have the right to do whatever they want to you. And most of the time, even the benevolent ones, they're going to do whatever they want to you, even if it hurts you, just because they're in it for themselves. So to take away from this, keep talking, call out the Epstein files. If people start saying something else, remind them again why Trump is afraid. And we need to start talking in truth, because we are in fascism right now. The man has literally wasted billions, I wouldn't be surprised, billions of dollars using our own military to just scare our own citizens, just because he wants people to care more about some imaginary crime problem than the fact that he is a pedophile, rapist, criminal. Because he is. He has been convicted 34 times on fraud. He is civilly liable for raping someone. The only reason he isn't criminally liable for raping someone is because of statute of limitations, which that's a whole nother bullshit can of worms that I despise as well. Limitations on rape? You're disgusting. But either way, we're coming up to our next break. Do not forget that piece of shit's on the list. And tell the truth. We are in fascism now. He is a fascist. And it's the moment of time when he is proudly saying he is a dictator. Hey everybody, thank you so much for being at our show today. I hope you had fun watching it on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify or in any major podcast platforms. Thank you for listening to our show. I am your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo, and I hope you'll have a wonderful 2025, because it's going to be a long one. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. In the continuing of the burning of the world now, so let's go out of the United States and look at the world. The genocide of the Palestinian people is still happening. They are still suffering. They are still living under a famine. Like 1 out of 3 people are all starving or haven't ate food for days. Children are dying because of no food. Moms are forced to watch their kids die because they don't have enough supplies to feed their children. Aid is being blocked by Israel because Israel just despised the existence of Palestinian people. It isn't Hamas. Hamas, they could have easily dealt with. Hell, they could have stopped Hamas rising if it wasn't for Netanyahu sending them money to make them go into power. They literally set up Hamas for this fucking exact reason. And on Monday, August 25th, they bombed a hospital. They bombed the Nasir hospital in Khan Yunis in Gaza, which killed at least 20 people and stuff like that. And the Palestinian people, even though they are suffering, even though they are in horrible pain, there's people who are supporting them, and they're out there trying to rebuild, trying to survive. It is a hospital, for God's sake. Even if it's bombed, those doctors are going to do everything in their power to save the people who are hurt. So they were working there, and there was cameras there, and people were watching, and I was watching the video. People were working together, going through the rubble, trying to help each other, and Israel double tapped them. They bombed them again after journalists arrived, after aid workers arrived. They bombed and killed journalists and aid workers. Israel did that on live TV. There is no AI. There is no Hamas stats. There is no Hamas stuff. They bombed a hospital twice and murdered innocent people on live TV with 5 different angles. And they have the audacity to say, oh, it was a mistake, and now are saying there was a Hamas camera. A Hamas camera. Really? If you have to be genuinely stupid or a racist piece of shit to genuinely believe that bombing a hospital 2 times is worth destroying a Hamas camera. They're saying this Hamas camera makes it easier for them to snipe their soldiers. And I'm like, one, you snipe children. You snipe children from your crow's nest 100 meters away in your fortified military with gun turrets. So shut the fuck up about being scared about snipers. You're good. And two, they have no fucking evidence of this shit. They're just lying out of their ass. They murdered innocent people on TV. And I'm not gonna lie, the only silver lining from these deaths, which I'm just watching videos of journalists carrying the blood-soaked cameras of their fellow co-workers who are out there trying to bring the truth and protect these people. They're just staring at the blood-soaked camera. And I can't even imagine just your friend who you work with, who is there to bring out the truth. You're doing the right thing. You're on the right side of history. You are actually doing your part. And they're murdered callously by a government who just despise the idea of Palestinians existing because that breaks the delusion of their colonial project. Because this isn't a holy war. This isn't a war against races. This isn't Arabs against Jews. This isn't Jewish people being afraid and wanting to protect themselves. October 7 was bad. But everything before October 7 and everything after October 7 is 1,000 times worse. And it isn't the Jewish people who are suffering here. It isn't the Israelis who are suffering here. It is the Palestinians. And just me caring about those Palestinians does not mean I am anti-Semitic or hate Jewish people. I'm not those brain-dead idiots who want to give an apology to the Nazis. No, that's ridiculous. Do not go into that route. It is the Israeli government, an apartheid racist government, that is doing this. It is a coalition of ghoulish, disgusting human beings, not because they're Jewish, but because they are doing ghoulish and horrible actions and are saying ghoulish and horrible things. Because of their character and actions, they are genocidal monsters who deserve to have a bullet through their head. And I am surprised, but people are finally noticing that. France, Canada, a couple European states and stuff like that. UK and United States. Oh, UK started this shit show. The UK gave this land to Israel, which how Israel was formed after the Holocaust. Most of Europe is still anti-Semitic and don't want to deal with the trauma that was inflicted to these people. So they decided to just take this British-owned land that they got from the First World War from the Ottomans and just like, hey, all Palestinians, go fuck off on your lands. And here are all these Europeans, go live here. I know you just suffered through the Holocaust, but here's free land. Fuck off. That's how UK started it. The United States, they started there as the side because they were one of the Israel's first allies because Eisenhower, he wanted the Jewish vote during that time. And also he was like, hey guys, like they're like us, which they're a colony. They're a colonial project. And they were going to be an apartheid state because here's a fun fact. The United States, as much as they tried to deny it, was also apartheid. Jim Crow, that's pretty much apartheid. Same thing as South Africa. Same thing as Israel. We are pretty much birds of the same feather. And this whole shit show has started since 1958, and has continued. There are people right now who are alive when they remember seeing their land ripped away from them. There are people who died a few years back watching the land that they have grown up on. Their families for generations lived on, where they have grown trees, be disfaced and disfigured and destroyed Israel literally hate Palestinians so much that they will gladly destroy all their natural vegetation that they rely on food and survival, like the olive trees that they grow and have all those olives, and put in invasive species to destroy the environment. They are that despicable. They destroy their homes and make it illegal for them to rebuild it. And they will point guns and kill them if they try to do that. They will kidnap innocent children just on the suspicion of being Hamas and keep them in prison for decades. You know those hostages that Israel themselves murdered as well because they were bombing indiscriminately? Israel have thousands of Palestinian hostages. You know those hostage exchanges they have? Oh, they get 3 people back from October 7th, and Gaza gets hundreds of innocent people who were kidnapped when they were teenagers for having the audacity to speak up against this apartheid state. And with this evil and atrocity, it's kind of hard to pretend that something's not happening. And finally, world leaders are calling it out. Italy's prime minister is saying, like, this is barbaric. The UN is finally speaking up. Is just the silver lining of this, that they're being so outwardly evil, cartoonishly evil, mass murdering innocent people, that people are finally speaking up, but it's kind of too late. These people's Gaza is gone. Universities destroyed, hospitals destroyed, infrastructure destroyed, schools destroyed, bloodlines erased. It is a genocide, mass genocide paid by the United States of government. Like, Israel would not be doing this if it wasn't for the fact that the United States is willing to nuke anyone else who tries to stop them. Like, it's another loss of life, innocent people, and all we can do now is to continue to call it out and continue to hold people accountable, to continue to make people understand this is not a war, this is not a conflict, this is a genocide. They are mass murdering innocent people for their land. And their excuse is Hamas. But Hamas isn't much of an excuse now. And now they're just doing it just because Donald Trump is so for it that I genuinely fear in a year or two, I will see Gaza turn into a fucking, like, resort town after the ethnic cleansing of millions of people. So I can't really end this on a good note. Gaza continue to suffer. Innocent people are going. The West Bank is a shit show there. Israel is doing more settlements there because of Netanyahu being emboldened, which that worthless piece of flesh, Netanyahu, like, he is only doing this to save his ass, because right now he has multiple corruption scandals after him, and him continuing the mass murder of innocent people and calling it a war is keeping people happy with him, and having the extreme right coalition of his government happy before they break off and backstab him as well if he doesn't stop, if he doesn't continue mass murdering innocent people. So I hope I have good news next week, but I can't give you anything from that. So we're gonna end here and just move on. So we're going up to our break. We'll talk more, and if I have any uplifting news, I'll give it to you. But I just need someone with superpowers to stop this at this point. See you after this. Hello, everybody. This is your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo of the show Espera Que. We're going to have a long, crazy year when the orange shit saint comes back in office. So let's do this, guys. Coming back, welcome back to Espera Que. So coming back out of our despairing view of the whole Gaza genocide, back in the United States, I would say Kilmel Abrego Garcia has finally came back. If you remember, a few months back, he was illegally deported to El Salvador, which the Trump administration or the Trump regime has said themselves it was a fuck up. They fucked up, and then afterwards, when people were calling them out for deporting an innocent man, which backstory about him, he escaped from El Salvador from gangs as a teenager, which fun fact, because of, the United States whole fucking around in South America, a lot of gangs grew to power because of, America's very easy access to fucking mass murdering weapons, and also the United States meddling with the government every single time they have the audacity to use their money on its people instead of United States corporations. So they come in, put in a new dictator, the dictator fucks up things, they fall, a power vacuum appears, a bunch of cartels shows up. Rinse and repeat. They literally do that in everywhere. Abrego, he was a victim of this. He fled to the United States. He tried to get refugee status. Later on in the 2010s, he was given a stay of deportation. It is illegal for him to be deported because he is literally here as an asylum seeker. He is trying to do his stuff. But, Trump's going to be Trump. And Stephen Miller, the guy who gets erect every time a Mexican has the audacity to, the guy who gets erect every time a Mexican gets attacked by ICE. Like, he's the fucker who's doing this whole entire thing. Which I'm not going to lie, I would love to do a deep dive on Stephen Miller and how pathetic this man is, because not going to lie, he deserves a special place in hell. He deserves it. Like, Satan will love to torture this worthless piece of, he is horrible. But the man comes here, does the American dream of, coming through immigration, trying to get the support, living in his community, finding a great person to marry, growing a family, doing good in his community. Well, he gets illegally deported, stays a couple months inside a fucking labor slave camp, which that is what it is happening in El Salvador. That is a slave labor camp. There is no excuses. And finally, he was able to be taken out because of the help of the political support from the people and a lot of politicians speaking out for him. Because, again, he is a human being, and I'm not going to lie, pretty fucking American. He may not have the American citizenship, but he lived here more than he lived in El Salvador. He has contributed more to this country than in El Salvador. He's pretty fucking American. So now he finally came back. He's finally get to see his wife. He finally get to see his kids. And then Trump and his administration are petty little bitches because they know they fucked up. They know they crossed the line when they deported him. They know they were very, very dumb when they sent him to that slave labor camp. They crossed the line. They made it very public. People called them out for it, and they're petty little bitches. So they're threatening this man with jail time. Either did he accept the trumped up charges they threw at him, which they are elite. They are saying that he is an MS-13 gang member, which that gang isn't even part of. They're not El Salvadorian. MS-13 isn't. No. Not even the same group of people or nationality. And he's saying that he was human trafficking because they were saying that he was like some coyote who's illegally trafficked people here, which the judge, when they investigated this in 2019, said this is lies. There's no evidence of this, and this is not real. The police officers said this isn't real. The evidence they got it from was an informant who has proven to be a liar and on the Brady list to show that he is not a reliable witness or person to speak with. There is literally no evidence of this. And the biggest smoking gun of showing that this is all bullshit, they literally admitted when this shit show happened that it was their mistake. And right after their mistake, a month later, they finally bring up these charges. It's grade A bullshit. They are lying. So they are threatening him that he either goes to jail and then be deported to Costa Rica, acting like it's a safer option, or they're just going to deport him to Uganda for not following their orders, which that's freedom. Are we winning? That's fucking freedom. Because if the U.S. government has the right to threaten jail time and deportation, or else you're going to deport you somewhere worse, If they can do it to him, they can do it to any one of us the second they find a way to make an excuse for it. They already are trying to. So, from this whole Kilmar Grego Garcia situation, which for the past happening weekend, pretty much the timeline it was he finally got free, and then ICE and the DOJ threatened to deport him unless he followed those trumped up charges. And now, because of the intervention of a judge, they have a hearing till October the 6th to see if he is deported or not, which they're going to have a preliminary investigation. But sadly, the poor guy is under ICE custody, which I'm not going to lie, can't really fucking trust ICE. And I wouldn't be surprised if they really make that man's life miserable for just because they're upset that he had the audacity to speak up. Like, they are only doing this because he has dirt on them. They made him suffer. They made him go to a slave labor camp. They made him go through horrible experiences for having the audacity of being brown and not having the right documentation. Do you know how insane it is to send someone to a slave labor camp just because their documentation isn't up to snuff? That's like saying I should be sent to a concentration camp just because my tax returns were filed wrong. That's insanity. And all the people who are defending this, either you're an ignorant idiot or a racist. And I know they're going to be like, oh, you're just labeling and generalizing all MAGA. Buddy, the guy in charge is a racist. If the person you are following and leading you is a racist piece of shit and you agree with him, you're a racist piece of shit. And right now, that racist piece of shit is trying to silence someone who he has tortured and ruined their life because he knows his voice will destroy him. And if you are blindly following that leader and his hatred and just blindly accepting all the lies, either you're dumb enough to fall for it or you're just as racist piece of shit as well. Because that is all that is happening. This is just some racist political showing of they're trying to cover their ass and they're trying to demonize and just make him seem as the devil when, again, he is literally just one of us. He is literally an American like us. Hell, he is an American in the sense that he's part of the continent of America. Most other countries in the Americas view themselves as Americans as part of the continent of America, while the United States is the United States. That's the thing. He is a human being, a part of this continent, a part of this country, a part of this community, who was sent to a slave labor camp because the regime we are living, the fascist regime we are living in, is trying to demonize immigrants and is sending thousands, hundreds of thousands of innocent people, which most of them don't even have a criminal record. And if they do, that criminal record is pretty tame, like misdemeanors or just being stupid. All the violent criminals, they're letting them free. Hell, they fucking extradited a violent criminal who murdered 3 people in Spain, 2 women, and some guy he assumed was sleeping with his wife, which that shows that man is someone you shouldn't have anywhere nearby, but he's free and happy in Florida. They talk about deporting innocent people for speaking up against Palestine and being anti-Semitic. Well, they just imported a bunch of Afrikaners, white Afrikaners from South Africa, the people who were very enjoying apartheid. Some of them are anti-Semitic. You can see on their social media while they're in the same breath threatening to look at people's social media if they have the audacity to be anti-Semitic, which their version of anti-Semitic is against the genocide of Palestine. So when it comes to immigration, it is a shit show right now. Hell, they are reopening the army base used in the 1940s and 50s for Japanese internment as an ICE facility. Repeating history here, people. We're repeating history. The only difference here, the fascist isn't across the sea. He's in our presidential seat. And he is scared and powerless and is willing to do anything and everything to shut up anyone who is a threat to him. So I am asking you, as a fellow American here, if you're watching this, be afraid, be scared. This is something, because if they can do it to Kilmar Abrego Garcia, they will do it to us in an instant the second we have the audacity to say or believe something different than them. They are just building up to it. They are making people feel comfortable with this and then building up to a point where we can't pass. And right now, we are way past it. There are troops in D.C. They are banning our freedom of speech. They are going against the Constitution every waking moment. It is bad. And I'm not going to lie. We have to be afraid of this. We have to feel that fear. Because when we feel that fear, it should motivate us to speak up and keep on going. The only way to be courageous is to be afraid. The only way to be brave is to stand up to the thing that you're afraid of and go against it. Feel that fear. Understand that we are in the shit right now and stand up and fight back. Because I'm not going to lie. If they go after him, they can go after me. If they can go after me, they can go after you. And this isn't fear-mongering. This isn't Fox News. This isn't, because of my skin color. No. This is because of the actions and words of people in power happening right now. They are targeting us. They are targeting anyone who believes differently than us. They are trying to silence us by gerrymandering whole entire different states so they can keep a tight grip on their power. They are trying to threaten and hurt others just because they speak up. They are showing that it's okay to be racist outwardly just so they can have more people to support them. Stand up. Call it out. Speak up. Do not be silent. Scream. Tell them that you are here and you're not going to stand for this bullshit. And if you have to be violent, I'm sorry. We're kind of at that point. So coming up to this break, I just have to say is I pray that after this whole shit show with Garcia, he finally gets peace and he gets to stay here with his family and loved ones. But if he doesn't, and if he's just forced to go to Uganda, remember, they are trying to silence him. And they will try to silence you if you just sit there and take it. Stand up and speak up. Because if we don't, it's us. See you after the break. Hello, everybody. This is your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo of the show Espera Que. We're going to have a long, crazy year. I would say we could end on a more lighter note than all the politics and bullshit we have, which is the Stop Killing Games campaign. It's still going strong. It's still people calling out. I would say is after the whole shit show with Visa, MasterCard threatening Twitch.io and Steam with silencing game censorship of not safe for work games, but I mean like anything rated PG or not PG, rated T or M, pretty much not safe for work. So it's censorship. It is censoring stories. It's censoring good stories because when you're trying to tell a story and trying to tell people's different perspectives, people's perspectives aren't always PG and nice. Some people went through shit, and it's their right to show that art and work, and we get good stories from it. How do you think we get good games? When good artists are given the freedom to do what they want and show it, and they show it through good game mechanics, good good effects, good cinematography, good art. Gaming is an art, and they're trying to silence it. Well, luckily, not much have changed, I would say. The movement is still going on. They're still getting signatures. And right now, they're getting the stepping stones in the European Parliament. It's going through the books, like how in the United States, they have to go to a committee, and then through the committee, it goes in a vote. Doing the same thing in the European Parliament. Obviously, it's going to take years. It's going to take years. But if this momentum and commitment to it keeps on going, in a few years, the European Union will have a law to make it that you own your own games and everything's safe and good. So that would be perfect. But that will take years. And if it happens in the EU, it will happen everywhere because the EU is a huge market. and game studios will be forced to follow the EU's, the not game studios, the game publishers, the people who publish the games. They don't make it; they just have the platforms to publish it. They will be forced to follow the EU's rule all over the world because it's too much of a hassle to just have different rules everywhere else. That's how it works. If a big economic center have very, very powerful rules that forces companies to follow them, they most likely will follow it all over the world just because it's too much of a hassle and a waste of money to be doing different things everywhere else. But all I can say is keep up the momentum, keep on talking about it, and keep on going. On the censorship side of it, with the MasterCard and Visa processors just abusing their power, Valve has spoken up saying that, wait, give me a moment. Let me get what they said. So Valve has said that because of MasterCard's rule of 5.127, which states that a merchant must not submit to its acquirer and a customer must not submit to an interchange system, any interaction in any transaction that is illegal or in the sole discretion of the corporation may damage the goodwill of the corporation or reflect negatively on the marks, which, I mean, Valve, come on. You're Valve. You're fucking Valve. You have built the PC gaming industry brick by brick with TF2, with Portal, with Half-Life, with CSGO. You have more power than a fucking plastic credit card. Don't listen to them. It's stupid. I know, the thing is, luckily, most of the games that have been taken off is pretty fucked up games. A lot of rape simulators and slavery and all that shit should be not on something like Steam. If you want that type of game, if you're that sicko, go ahead. There's websites you can download it from. I don't give a shit. That's your personal thing. It's a video game. Video games have their things, and I will just stay away from you. But it shouldn't be on Steam, a very public and open platform. But we just have to keep an eye on that. Twitch.io, a great place for like indie developers to just try their hand and post stuff. Again, they're still doing the same thing, following the rules and stuff like that. So all I can say is make games and rely on your fan base, I would say, because games is art and there's people who love art and they will enjoy it. And even if someone's going to censor it or something like that, there's other ways. It's going to be costly and it's going to be hard, but if you are part of the craft, keep it going. And if you are part of the community, gaming community, speak up, stand up, go against this. Do not allow this. We need these platforms to allow us to platform our games so they don't get censored. Because trust me, game development is expensive. It costs money to work to create those assets. It costs money to keep up all those the computers running, paying for everything, paying for the workers, paying for the assets that they need to buy, paying for the plugins for them to add to the game, paying for the engine they're using to sell the game. It costs money. If you're an indie developer, it's a little investment. You can keep on working on it. But even if you're a big corporation or an indie developer, you shouldn't be censored. This is art. No art should be censored. It should be critiqued. It should be called out if it's horrendous. Dang it, I can't say right. It should be critiqued. It should be called out. It should be used as examples and stuff like that. But no one should have the right to silence it, even if it's shitty or racist or horrible things. I mean, I've seen some racist ass games, even that. But we cannot allow a payment processor who is just listening to the words of a nonprofit, which, what is that? Hey everybody, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo, your host of Espera Que. Well, I hope y'all are having a good start of your 2025 because we're going to have a fun, long year listening to the news. Yeah, they do everything in their power to just be a pain in the ass with anything that they assume. So, hey, look, queer people in it? Fuck that. That's kinky. That's horrible. Oh, women in power and fighting people? I can't see women get hurt. You can't have that. So what was it? Okay. Rewind back. So right now, Steam and itch.io and other platforms where they sell games, they get their payment processing from like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all the big names. And Visa and MasterCard are using the excuse of a nonprofit group of Collective Shout, which they are a evangelical group from Australia who wants to protect the kids and the women and all that stuff. But all they are is just censoring anything that they're too afraid to comprehend. They go after rap songs. They go after movies. They've been going after video games. GTA, biggest game ever. Grand Theft Auto. Everybody goes after them. That's them. But somehow Collective Shout has enough power to be in the ear of these payment processors, and they are allowing them to influence them about what they're doing with Steam and Twitch.io. So all I can say is that the nonprofit that says they care about children and women, if they care about them, they should be doing their job, helping women and children get out of abusive situations, helping women and children get the resources they need, helping women and children get out of danger, not wasting time censoring video games just because a queer person exists, or a woman is being violent, or a child is dealing with violence. Like, there's a lot of games, and I'm not over here advocating like, yay, we should have all games where we attack women and children and have horrible things. No, games are stories. And if you're just silencing stories just because the subject matter of the stories makes you feel uncomfortable, you're not helping anyone. You're just being a baby. So to end today's episode of Misery and Pain, I would say is the only good thing out of all of this is that if we as a group, as people, if we join together and work together and speak together and help each other, we can make changes. We can fight back. We can go against this godforsaken hellscape we are in right now. But if we sit there divided and silent, they're going to roll over us. They're going to just crush us and hide the bodies. So to end this episode of Espera Que, I'm just going to say is stand up, speak up, and fuck fascists. We got to keep on going because there is too many people out there just trying to silence our voices, and we need to keep on speaking up. So keep it up, keep it going, and thank you for watching this show. Hope to see you next week, and let's hope things get better. See ya. Hi everybody, this is Yarince from the Espera Que show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA, go to your nearest homeless shelter, go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people died to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who restored normity, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yarince again from Espera Que, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day.